So good morning or good night, depending on where you are, and welcome to another interview of the Shield Doing a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're talking to a French doom metal band called Barabbas. And I have Stefan and Alex from the band, and we're here to talk about the latest album that came out that I have on my background, but I'm going to show the artwork. So it's called Mort Appelle Tous les Vivants, and I translated this, and it means death calls all who are alive. So yeah, it's very doom metal. So guys, how are you today?
Pretty
Fine,
good.
thank you.
Good. So yes, I enjoyed the album. I was reading, this is your sophomore album. You had an EP in 2011 and then a full length in 2014. So now you're returning a few years later with this album. So we were speaking offline. So Alex, you joined the band for this album, right?
Yes, exactly. So I took part in the composition process of the bass lines, actually. So that was very nice, actually, because the songs, sorry, are pretty rich, harmonically speaking. So it was kind of, it was not just the bassist duty to just do doom. I had to provide more than that. So it was quite a work they asked me, but it was fun. It was pretty fun.
Nice. And Stefan, I know you are the guitar player and you compose songs. For this album, I listened to it a few times, and it's very doom metal. Also, I had to get some of the lyrics since it's in French, and unfortunately, I don't know French, but it's good for because sometimes I think that there's a lot of bands from other countries that English is not their first language, and they're like doing English. And sometimes it's good to listen to bands in their native language. Like, for example, like Rammstein. Like, I couldn't listen to Rammstein in any other language than German. So,
That's true.
Stefan, how important is for you guys to do this French, this music in your native
We're
language?
French, so it seems yes, it seems natural to sing in your own language. We're French, so we sing in French. And besides, in 1980, you had a lot of French band playing heavy metal, Sortilège, Vulcain, Satan Jokers, and bands like this. And most of the bands, the vast majority of the bands, were singing in French. Contrary to Swedish bands or German bands, French band chose to sing in their native language. And I'm not very young, so I remember all those bands, and it's natural for me to imagine metal sing in French. It's normal for us. And besides, just like you, I like the fact that it's less uniform than when all the bands sing in English, like Rammstein, German bands like Deutsche Amerikanische Freundschaft, also things like this. They sing in their own language, and it's nice. It's okay. But I do like Scorpions or bands like this. No problem. The bands will sing in English, but it's very strange because in France sometimes people ask you, why do you sing in French?
Really?
French people.
Yes, yes. All the time.
It's strange.
That's weird because, like, I've been to France, and you guys like people to speak French. So why wouldn't you want people like singing in French?
In the doom scene, in the doom metal scene, in fact, it's a comment we still have. It's very strange. You sing in French. Yes, we are French, so we sing in French.
But something, I think the French language goes well with that type of doom metal. I don't know why I don't know. The French language is, it's a beautiful language. It's you speak in French and it doesn't matter what you say. It sounds lovely. Like sometimes people would say also Spanish, because I can't say the same about German.
I understand.
We like German. We like German because it's very barbarian.
Yeah, it's very like a harsh language, but yeah, French, no, like French, you can say to someone like very, you could say someone to you like go go to hell or go fuck yourself in French, and it will sound lovely.
It's true. It's true.
I'm not quite sure about this, but I'll take that as a compliment, I guess.
Yes, yes, and I've interviewed a few French bands now, and I interview and some that write in English, some in France. But yeah, I remember one of the first bands that I from France that I got to was Alcest, and I think they at first
Alcest.
they sung
Alcest.
in French,
Yeah.
and great band.
Great, very great. Yeah.
So yeah, I was reading the album titles, and I'm thinking that a lot of the themes in this album are about your own mortality and death. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. It's not a concept album in the sense that we didn't plan anything before recording and writing the song. You know, it's not. There was no great master plan to create something, to create a concept album. But strangely, oddly enough, all the pieces of the puzzles seem to point toward death. The cover, the title, the songs. We had other songs dealing with other subjects, mainly doom subjects, okay, mainly dark subjects. But in the end, the selection of songs selected were mostly about death, loss, metaphorical death or a real death, in fact. But it can be metaphorical too. Metaphorical. Alex, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think you're right. I think you're good.
Nice. So I'm guessing the album was it was inspired partly by the pandemic times and other things that have happened in the last years. But I like the cover. Let's look at the cover again. Is this cover where is this cover? Is this like a picture or did someone drew it?
Tu veux, Alex, vas-y. Hein?
Oh non, vas-y. After you, I guess.
In fact, it's an old drawing from an old newspaper that our singer found on internet, and I remember it was after a train wreck, something like that, where lots of people were killed, and those people on the cover are the family of the dead that goes to the cemetery, and in fact it's very strange because you almost got the feeling that these people go to their own funeral. You know what I mean? It seems like all these people are going to bury themselves. That's very strange, in fact. We didn't find any images that suit with the project. It was every time one member said, "Oh, I got an I don't like it so much, so very much." But when Rodolphe, our singer, showed us these pictures, everybody was fine with it. So we said, okay, that's the cover of the album.
So that you know that.
Tell me if you understand me, because my English is absolutely.
No, I understand you perfectly. And yeah, I know what you say by the album cover. Yeah, it looks like they're all mourning and they're going to a funeral, and there's those old pictures, to me they look very interesting because I don't know about you guys, but when I see those old pictures of people, even though they're alive, they kind of look like they're already dead on some of those pictures. I don't know why. Maybe it's the black and white, and it reminds me. I remember the first Black Sabbath album cover had that black and white, the image of the lady in the front, and you have a lady in the front of that cover that's very reminiscent of that, like the lady in the like when you see like the front, there's a lady that's in the front that stands out in the album cover.
Yeah, that's a coincidence, I think, but it's true that black and white and people from another century, so obviously they're
Gratitude,
dead
yeah,
because
see that,
they
yeah.
come from a long past, dead long ago. So
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
but if
quite
you
doomed.
think about it, 100 years from now, when old generation are looking at the pictures of the people now, they're going to be very confused with all the filters and
I
the dog
guess.
faces. They're gonna be like, "What the hell was wrong with these people?"
Or maybe it will be more filters, I guess, and they will not understand that. Who are
Yeah, there
they?
will be more filters. I'm like, "Oh, look at that basic filter that
Basic
they had
pictures.
back in the beginning of the 2020s." And yeah, but yeah, the album cover really goes with the music of it. So Alex, when you got new to the band, how did you join the band?
Oh wow, that's quite a long story, but I'll make it short. So Rodolphe, Stéphane, and JC Thomas knew the singer of another band I play in called Coping Tower. Despite the name, we sing also in French. And yeah, they were looking for a new bass player. They came to our concert and they asked me, sorry, to make a try for the band. And yeah, I knew Barabbas beforehand because they were playing close to my hometown, actually, in the south of Paris. I mean, not really Paris; it's more the countryside, but let's say Paris too.
Uh, is it near Reims? I've been to Reims.
Oh no, not that far away. But it's
Oh.
more Melun. I can't believe I'm saying Melun in an international video,
Balloon.
but yeah. So I was really keen to join them because I knew the previous work, like Judas est une femme, all those songs that are very good to me, and yeah, it felt like, sorry, like home, I guess. Like those are very nice guys. I don't know. I think catch we caught quickly together. I think we played really fast and very quick together. Like Stefan sent me some songs and said, "Okay, these are the new songs. There's no bass on it, so you're free to do whatever you do." And that was one of the things I really liked because I don't want to be okay. You're just gonna do the fundamentals on all the songs and that's it, nothing else, because you're just a bass player. No, they welcomed me and said, okay, just do something melodic, take a place, and that was pretty nice. And yeah, very quickly we did a first concert in Paris, and that was really very nice night, from what I remember actually.
Oh, nice. Well, it's a good thing that they gave you like a chance to do some creative work on the album
Oh
because
yeah,
bass players need love too.
yeah, oh yeah, we actually do. I mean, sometime in the back of the band, we need some love. But yeah, more than the music, that I feel that there were a connection. Like we were talking about the cover of the album and the themes in it, and I'm not like, I'm almost 30 years old, so that's not very old, I guess. But the
Oh,
the impatient
that's
doom.
young.
That's young. Okay, I don't have white hair for the moment, I guess. But
Wait till you have kids.
oh wow, oh no, maybe not now, I guess, but maybe soon. I don't know. It's not the subject of the video, I guess. But I really love doom metal. Like it's really a genre I'm really fond of, and so death was always on my mind and is still on my mind. Like the theme of the album, which spoke to me like we were nothing and we will be nothing in a short time, actually, in compared to the eternity of time. We are nothing and we will be nothing soon. So
Yeah.
the album, speaking about this, really talked to me deeply, actually. So that maybe something we bound about without really talking about it. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Stefan, maybe you could.
Yeah, so Stefan, I know that the second album, the first full length was in 2014, so there was a gap between albums. Like, what difference musically did you have on this album from your first one?
Yeah. I, uh, it, It's very difficult to answer. I think the sound itself, the sound of the album is very different. It's quite different. Lots of people tend to people say that the sound of the last album is a bit better. Maybe we worked more on the last one. Composition wise, it's very difficult to say. It's quite it's Barabbas is the same band from the beginning. In fact, we have the same themes of songs, same not the same ideas, but when you play doom metal, you know you can play within boundaries. You know, it's a bit like blues. You can't expand too much when you play blues. You have 12 bars, and you can't really play outside these 12 bars, or else it's not blues. It's the same with doom. So you can take some liberty, you have freedom, you have some, but it must stay doom in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can. So composition wise,
there is something different.
Something about going to the beach, doing surf, and having a great time. It's not the Beach Boys, you know. You must stay true to some
values.
So, yes, some. It's a universe. In fact, it's not a pose. It's not a pose. It's important. It's not a pose. But tu comprends ce que je veux dire, Alex? Excuse me.
Yeah.
Je veux dire, enfin, tu vois ce que je veux dire, c'est tu joues dans des limites et tu es obligé de composer dans des limites, quoi. Sinon, c'est plus du doom. Excuse me for this French parenthèse.
No, you're French.
Yeah. I mean, what Stefan was saying in French is that we have some kind of boundaries as a doom metal band, and we try not to go out. It's just we don't go out because that's what.
Okay. Yeah, I think I understand.
There is one huge to me difference between the last album and this one is the choices of production.
It's true.
Like the precedent album was, you know, it's not better or worse or anything. It's just different actually. So
yeah.
When in the precedent album, it's more like, okay, you press play and it was like just max volume at first, just get you at the back of the chair and 1 hour of this and then it stops. I like to think that this album is quite different. There's movement, you know, more dynamic. This more or the previous one more, but it's different. You know, I guess people get this is different. It's difficult to put, you know, words on this because like Barabbas, it's complicated to just. I know it's not that loud.
Yeah, no, but I think it. You know, with Doom, people are expecting like.
That's my feeling about
it. It's also true.
Yeah, I know what you mean because with Doom, people are expecting like a certain type of sound and tempo. Because if you go straight away too far from it, like people will say, no, this is not Doom, or you went too fast. So yeah, I know what you guys are saying. Yeah, I like when Stefan was talking something about like doing surf music. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, we have a song on. We have a song which is Sous le signe du néant on the album, and some people say, "Ah, this is not doom. This is heavy metal." Well,
You know what? If Black Sabbath
Yes,
didn't make a
absolutely.
difference,
So
we don't.
music can be sometimes very strict regarding the labels of the music.
I think
So,
people nowadays get more hung up on like the differences, and I think a few years ago people just enjoyed the music and whatever.
absolutely, Alex is younger than us, but us, I'm over 50 years old now. So I listen to St. Vitus, Trouble, Pentagram, Cathedral, Sabbath, of course, and all these bands. They used to play on a lot of influences, and a band like Trouble, you got a song like Bastard Will Pay from Trouble. It's not pure slow and heavy, galloping heavy metal, but nevertheless, Trouble is a doom band. So it's also depend on your vision of doom metal. For younger people, doom metal is more, it tends to begin with Reverend Bizarre and Electric Wizard. So it's slow, heavy, ultra massive, tons of fuzz, wall of sound. We came from another background. We did like Sabbath, we did like Pentagram, all these old bands which were influenced by classic bands, you know, classic rock bands. Yeah. Ozzy Osbourne always said, my favorite band is the Beatles, okay? That's what said Ozzy. So it's not the same, you don't have the same vision about what is doom metal. And sometimes people can be very strict. No, that's not metal. No, this is doom metal. Okay. So we try to...
You do not care about this.
Yeah. I wouldn't care either.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Because it's... but also, it's very fun to play within the cause of a music. You know, it's like, as I say, playing blues, you can play traditional blues, you can play also your own brand of blues, where you respect all the codes, but also add a bit of other influences in the mix. That's what we try to do with Barabbas. But we don't know if we succeed, but that's what we try to do. Stay true to the original idea, but try to expand a little bit from the roots of the music. Tu comprends ce que je dis, Alex? Actually, because
I think everyone
you
gets.
understand why we sing in French? Because it's terrible in English.
It's not a choice. Is that we don't have a choice. We try. we can't. Oh no, we're unmasked.
Wow.
You try to what?
I know. You said you understand now why we sing in French, because we cannot.
You're terrible in English. I am terrible in English.
Oh, that's okay.
Singer is also much more terrible than me.
That's okay, because a lot of people here in the States, they only speak one language. You know, we speak more than one language. That's hard to speak more than one language. And so yeah, I could understand everything you were saying. So yeah, I like that the album. Yeah, I like that the album has doom, like classic doom elements, but I think there's some songs where the singer does some different things and like more uplifting too. So yeah, I think it translates well. So I would recommend Barabbas to people who like doom metal. Like, yes, it's in French, but you can get a dictionary or a translator to understand it. It's okay, yeah.
Not many words.
Yeah, or just enjoy the music. So before I let you guys go, like what is your favorite doom metal album of all time?
Vas-y, Alex.
Oh wow, no, Stefan, you first. I need some time to think about this.
Alex needs to think.
For me,
wow, that's
as of today, favorite album would be Black Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath,
nice.
Or maybe Black Sabbath, Paranoid. The second album.
I have that one on vinyl.
Paranoid is one of the is a perfect album. In fact, sometimes I think if the song Black Sabbath was on Paranoid instead of the drum solo of Rat Salad, it would be untouchable. It would be the greatest Doom album of all time.
But I have the first two. The first two Sabbath albums on vinyl. They're both
perfect,
classic,
untouchable.
But Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath is really a great album, really melodic, full of ideas, very rich album, very rich. It's many aspects. You can come. Paranoid is very in your face, and Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath is much more melodic, but those are extremely great. It's a Doom classic. It's a Doom classic.
Yeah, I agree. So, Alex, now that you had a few minutes to think, which is your pick?
Okay. I would go to Paranoid by Black Sabbath because it's awesome. Actually, you can cite more obscure bands or more popular bands, but Sabbath is always a way to go. I don't know. If I had to pick, I would go to, I don't know if it's really Doom, but the first The Obsessed is a pick of my heart. I really love it. Carnival Bizarre. It's like Orval Mass is like Hopkins, which find the genre is wow. But you know what? I think I'm gonna choose one song than an album, and it's a joke with my friends, but everyone will get it. I think the best Doom song is I Want You, She's So Heavy by the Beatles.
Yes.
Oh yeah, actually, I have that album in Abbey Road, and it's like the first Doom song ever.
To me, it's the first Doom song ever.
Yeah, I agree.
The end.
For me, the Beatles, I didn't get into them until late. My mom used to play, but my mom used to play the poppier songs, the Hold Your Hand and stuff. So when I got Abbey Road on vinyl and I listened to that song, I'm like, this sounds way different than their first earlier stuff.
It's like 2 years prior to Black Sabbath, actually.
Yeah.
When you think about this, it's crazy. Wow.
So maybe Black Sabbath were influenced by that song. Because
as everybody gets influenced by the Beatles.
It's one of my favorite bands, and everything I dig except the Beatles can be found in the Beatles. Actually, it's crazy.
They laid the blueprint for a lot of like rock that bands later picked up and
totally.
You see the White Album, the double White Album. It's absolutely fantastic. It starts with a Beach Boys quite a type song, come on, back in the USSR, and it ends with concrete music like Revolution Number 9.
Yeah, Revolution Number 9.
It's absolutely
it's crazy.
It's a wonderful album. But just like you, Hector, when I was young, I hated Beatles because of Michel, Mabel, and all this song. But
it's good.
I did find it a bit ridiculous. And at around 16, 17 years old, I discovered the Beatles via the White Album. I was blown away by the creativity of these guys. So
it was just a different band that evolved from what it. You could tell. So, guys, it was great chatting with you about the Barabbas album.
And what is your favorite Doom album, Hector?
My favorite Doom album.
I'm curious too.
Let me think about it. I think I like Black Sabbath, especially the first one in Paranoid. It's just like the blueprint for everything. And also bands like now, the Candlemass is great as well.
Oh yeah, of
around
course.
for years doing it. So there's a lot of like cool bands. Awesome. So people check out Barabbas, the album. I'm gonna show the picture again. It came out, I think, last Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Totally.
La Mort Appelle Tous les Vivants. I'm sorry if I butchered it in French, but
No, it's good.
you know, I have a funny story about French. I was in Paris in 2016. I was there with my wife, and it was funny because she was taking French lessons, and the only thing I knew how to say was the Czech, la tissot s'il vous plaît. So she was like ordering everything in French, and at the end of when they give us the meal, I went, la tissot s'il vous plaît. They were like, yeah, oui. I'm like, yeah, merci, oui, oui. And she was like so pissed, like you don't know French, and you said that.
I mean,
they were applauding you
that's a
because
good pronunciation, actually. That's nice.
Yes, I remembered how to say the check, please. I remember that, so at least I had that, so I could remember. So yeah, that's my story of when I went to Paris in 2016, and I memorized that so I could ask for the check.
Did you visit Paris? Did you went to Paris?
I went to Paris. I went to Reims. I've been to Paris 2 times. I went in 2016, and I went in 2005 with a friend of mine. So yeah, I've been twice to Paris. But the second trip, I went to Reims, and I went to Versailles, and yeah, I saw more.
Yes.
I got off of Paris, but yeah, I like Paris because there's great food. I love the croissants and the baguettes.
Like we all do, actually. That's what keep us there.
We like it too. We like it too.
Yes, there is. It's just so good. It's such good food that I can't. You can't go there and not have that. So, guys, everyone, I'm gonna put the link for the album so people can check it out if you want to order it. This album came out. It's your first album with a record label. The first EP were self-released. So yeah, check it out. I'll put the link in the description, and I'll put a video of the band so people can check that out. So people, Barabbas is out now. If you like doom metal, check them out. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.